Cal Calling is coming up with a new chapter, and the chapter is Sustainability and Energy Consciousness, where the entire globe is talking about climate change, global warming and weather weaponing. We with our limited resources just want to understand the awareness and the sustainable practices in this state. We would cover various industry segments, and we would also invite the experts from these industries and policymakers and civic bodies. Today being the first chapter, our topic is renewable energy intervention in microfinance. So we have the eminent and the distinguished guests from the industry, and they are absolute experts on the subject in their own ways. So let me introduce them to you all. First, I would like to come to Mr. Kuldeep Maiti, MD Village Finance, one of the largest microfinance institutes. Then I would love to come to Mr. Devidas Datta, ex-CMD WAPCOS, ex-director WBAC DCL and currently advisor to Government of West Bengal. Then we have with us Mr. Kunal Bhattacharya, ex-director Webel Venture and MD Sustino Advisory Private Limited, our knowledge partner, and Mr. Anjan Ghosh, ex-Tata Solar and director Suncraft Energy and our knowledge partner. So shall we proceed with the question and the answers?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would like to come to Mr. Maiti, and could you just share your industry perspective with us? What are the steps you are taking for this?
So basically, as a microfinance institutions, we are basically working with the poor section of the society and mostly belonging in the rural areas in the West Bengal or all the states we are covering. So basically now this renewable energy, if I talk about that, so in the rural area, so mostly if we talk about this solar energy, and that's a very important aspect we are providing, because most of the very rural areas, they are suffering from the power cuts. So they need some kind of this alternative system so that they can use it for their education purpose, for the small kind of business they are doing, or small kind of the other purposes they want to do. So that way we are also trying to promote this aspect, so that in other way it is beneficial for them, so that their income generating activity or education system should continue, and alternatively we are using the power which is free of cost, that's a solar system, we are using it, so that the cost to them in terms of electricity, that also can be reduced. So that we are promoting, not only VFS. So there are a lot of MFIs, they are also tied up with a lot of the solar companies and providing these services to the mass.
Basically to enlighten up their lives.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
That is what.
Exactly.
Yes. So could you also just share about your industry and your organization?
So myself, Kuldeep Maiti, so I am the managing director of Village Financial Services. It is one of the old microfinance institutions. So basically we provide small credits to the poor women. Those don't have any access to the formal credits. So we form a group, joint liability groups, and through that we provide loans, and these loans are used for any kind of income generating activities. So it's up to them whether what purpose they want to do it, and this loan is given for 1 year, 18 months and 2 years, and our staffs, they provide this all type of support other than loan, like capacity building support, financial literacy training, financial inclusion is also one of the major agenda of any MFIs. So we provide them. So as on date, we have given almost 5,08,000 customers, poor women, and last year we disbursed, if I say in financial year 18-19, so we have disbursed about 1,500 crores for these people.
Absolutely. Again, to sum up that, to enlighten their lives.
Exactly.
I would like to come to Mr. Bhattacharya. Could you also share insights into the industry and the perspective?
Yeah. As you have already explained while introduced me, that the name of the company which I represent is Sustino Advisory Private Limited. Now, where did this Sustino come from?
Susti and no, knowledge.
Right. Susti part of the name came from sustainability, and no, that part of the name came from knowledge.
Yes.
Now, what we want to say through this name is that our company is all about sustainable development, which is a very familiar term coined by United Nations. And in our case, it is knowledge based. So that's why it combined to give you this name Sustino. Now, what is it we do? This is a year-old company. What we do is, if we talk about the definition of sustainability, sustainability, more or less every one of us has an idea about what sustainability means. But our definition of sustainability, we believe, is little different from the run-of-the-mill kind of definition. Sustainability, generally people mean that by sustainability it means environmental friendly, to an extent people friendly. But there is a concept which was developed in a place called Bellagio in Italy many years ago, a few decades ago, called Bellagio principles. So that from that there is something which is called triple bottom line that came into existence. Now one of the major activities in our company is to measure sustainability. And how we measure the sustainability? We measure sustainability by plotting an activity or a product, or irrespective of industry, a product on the triple bottom line coordinates. And what are those triple bottom lines? One is people, second is planet, and third is the original triple bottom line defined as that profit. Profit has a little negative connotation in my mind, so we are calling it prosperity. So people, planet, and prosperity.
3 Ps.
3 Ps,
Absolutely.
right? Now this is a known concept. This is nothing which we have developed, but this is a concept which we have followed, and that's on that basis we are measuring sustainability. What we are calling as sustainability.
So what is the result of that kind of measurement?
Result is that first of all, when our company goes to a prospective client, the awareness of what sustainability can do for his industry or for his company is something which we impart on them. The fact, as you have already talked about in your introductory statement, that the entire world is waking up to the fact that sustainability is something which we need to follow in all our daily lives, in all our entrepreneurial activities. We need to follow sustainability aspect. So, in response to your question, the result is that awareness is definitely developing, and people have started the money they spend, the investment they make in the area of sustainability no longer as an expense. They have started considering that as an investment.
Oh, that was going to be my next question only, and it's good that you already raised the topic. I can go to the other eminent guest with the same question, but before that I would like to ask you, you are talking about a bigger perspective, that awareness has increased, it has doubled up, but what about our state? You are talking about, I think, the nation, or internationally you are talking about a bigger perspective. What about our state?
No, it's
or
not
our city?
It's not a question of, I don't have any comparative figures to compare Kolkata with let's say Delhi or anything of that sort. But whether you talk about in global perspective or a local perspective, the fact remains that the awareness about sustainability is gradually increasing, but is still not has reached the level where all of us would be very comfortable with. It will take time. It will take time. Now again, coming back to your question, this is something which has to be inculcated in our activities, in our daily life.
In a system, basically.
In a daily life, in our system. I mean, it has to be ingrained in our
ingrained.
blood. And that is through our individual activities as well as all the entrepreneurial activities.
Community activities also. I would also like to ask you, sir, that the same thing, could you just share insights about your industry and organization?
Yeah, so I come from a company called Suncraft Energy. Now, this is a company which was actually created about 7 years back by alumni of our Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Kharagpur, all the alumni. They created this company. The founder member was Robin Roy, who is the current managing director. So our initial foray, and even today we are continuing that, is mainly to dwell upon renewable energy, and we say that we create beautiful energy. So it's not only renewable or solar, it's beautiful energy, because it gives solutions for your
A beautiful
energy
life.
requirements while changing the whole world in terms of the future requirements. So what we actually do is we primarily concentrate on giving solar solutions. We are a so-called EPC company, which is engineering, procurement and commissioning. Now this EPC is divided into 2-3 areas. One is, when somebody wants to install a solar system to meet his power or energy needs, he can, buy it out and save all the money that he spends over the years. And that is on a, what we technically call on a CapEx mode, which is capital expenditure.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing which is gaining popularity, and we are among the only ones in the eastern region who's offering this, is called the RESCO model, which is called Renewable Energy Service. Okay. Now Renewable Energy Service is that we invest and we put up a solar energy system in the customer's premises, which he lends to us, leases to us, and he pays only for the energy that is provided, that is generated and used by him. And today, as per the national policy and the state policy, it is permissible that if you generate energy yourself and you consume and you generate more than what you consume, you can actually feed it back to the state grid or the national grid, and you can therefore export energy to the grid, which helps the overall grid system and which also enables you to get credit for that amount. So there are situations where you can actually reduce your energy cost substantially, 30, 40, 50, 60%, depending on what amount you're doing. And the genuine, reliable, trustworthy, credible users, we are ready here to offer this kind of RESCO services, where he doesn't have to spend a single paisa, he just gives money for the energy we
Basically,
produce.
it is like catering to a mass, catering to the mass.
Yeah. And
So-
with in this 1 or 1.5 years that we have been giving this RESCO services, we have also found considerable success. We have worked with the railways, Eastern Railway. It's the only installation of Eastern Railway I feel in this RESCO mode in India. Eastern Railway, that is in the state, or in Calcutta, in West Bengal, and in the eastern region rather, except for the northeast, where we have put large systems like 500 kilowatt system in one of their railway stations, where they are substantially gaining, and it's in a RESCO mode. We are doing this in schools, in educational institutions. We are doing
across
this
the state. Across the state, or
Yeah, because what I'm talking about is that these segments are very, very needy on energy saving requirements. Okay, and also they are reputed, they are credible, and they are trustworthy, which is
as
needed.
Mr. Bhattacharya said, that this awareness is gradually rising and it's
Yeah.
like increasing.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
So awareness is definitely rising. See, one is that these are two different complementary things we are talking about. One is that you accept your responsibility to society, to environment, to the globe and to the future, and therefore you are aware of sustainability and what you need to do. The other is, commercially, you are actually, needing this energy and you're saving money. By this RESCO, what we are providing, we are no more talking about subsidy, grant and all those things. We are saying that you don't need anything. You just put solar. Solar is at least 40%, 30% cheaper than what the commercial rate is for electricity.
That is what future is going to be
Yeah.
all about. I
Yeah.
think that is very important.
So you save money, and you actually, even if somebody spends money to put a solar system today, ranging between 3 years to 5 years, you can get your money back, depending on how much you're putting and what you're spending. So we are even having schemes where we are putting hybrid systems, where you cannot invest all your money. So you give some money, 30%, 40%, 50% of the system cost, and we give the rest, and your energy cost comes to 20% of what you're paying.
Okay.
So there are various kinds of beneficial schemes today which we are introducing, and that is why we want to also talk to, you know, different industry leaders, segment leaders.
Do you
and
also
today,
seek government policies to support you? Do you need any kind of government policy to support you?
of course, we need. The respected Mr. Datta is
Yeah,
here with us.
just after you finish, I would come to him.
So he is very, very conscious and very, very energetic and enthusiastic about promoting, you know,
What
renewable
kind of
energy
support
and
you
solar
need? What are
energy.
the policies
What
you're
we
looking for?
need basically is facilitating this to happen. Basically, as I said, that today the policy allows you to even export energy, renewable energy. If you produce renewable energy in your own backyard or on your rooftop, you can actually export some of the energy which you don't need at the moment. So therefore the government has to enable that we need permission to get into the grid, we need some metering to get into the grid. So therefore those kinds of helps are a must.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would come to Mr. Datta. So what is your take on this?
And actually, before coming to this particular point, I had the opportunity to work a long time in the international domain. WAPCO is the publisher undertaking and the Minister of Water Resources based on Delhi. And international consultant, I personally worked in 45 countries in the world. I was in African Development Bank, and I had the exposure.
It's a huge experience.
Exposure practically before coming to Calcutta, I have exposure to the remote places of Africa, Indo-China region, Middle East, or surrounding countries like Bangladesh, other places. I think this subject matter today is a huge potential. You know, people are suffering. But I have my expertise in power sector, in particular reference to the hydro, essentially. These are renewable energy. Now solar is coming up. Renewable energy concept has to be require regular promotion. People should understand what is this. Remote people, those who are starving, don't have any exposure, they don't know how to survive. If we can reach with huge potential.
So basically you're saying that we need all the more, the awareness programs should be organized.
Yes.
More and more awareness programs should be
It is
organized.
energy which is
And digitally also.
readily available. Yes, readily available. Not only solar, small hydro, biogas. Then you know the wind power. Some places actually. And moreover, today in a present scenario, this thermal due to coal is being practically very difficult proposition. Financially also coming in a different institution to sustain. Similarly, in the renewable energy sector is major hydro project, which
As
is
Mr.
also
Bhattacharya rightly said that we have achieved that kind of awareness, but it is still there. Like we need to achieve more. No,
it's
we
not
have
a,
not achieved. Gone to that level of awareness.
No, it's
And
not.
we need to
It's
push
not
it
a
more.
function of. It's not the function of awareness alone, as Mr. Ghosh was talking about while he was talking about his bit. That is when I told you about 3 P's.
Yeah.
The third P is prosperity. So it has to have an economic sense.
Yes.
If you don't have an economic sense, just for the sake of sustainable development, nobody will put his or her time and energy. So it has to have an economic sense, which is what renewable energy like solar energy, which Suncraft Energy is in big way is present, is bringing in. So similarly, Mr. Datta, he is in the power industry, has been an old hand in power industry, and he has a wide experience. Such people are
Huge,
what we
vast
need.
experience.
We need for developing this sustainable, not sustainability. When I back for my company, I don't limit myself to only sustainable energy.
To make this industry more prosperous.
Any industry for that matter. Even when you permit me, if you permit
please.
me, I possibly have something to even say
To Mr.
about
Vaidhi.
his industry.
Okay.
I mean, some suggestions I can make. So what I'm trying to say, when Mr. Datta and Mr. Ghosh are talking about, what they are talking about is energy. Now the company, the industry
Domain.
which I back for, my domain, cuts across all industries,
Okay.
even microfinance.
We would obviously like to take your suggestions with your kind permission just after the break.
Yes.
But before that, I would come to Mr. Datta and just.
I just want to
My
make a very
question, yeah,
focus
absolutely.
because now, industry and power, you cannot separately think of without
It's a big domain.
power. No, it is a hand to hand. Without power, no industry can run.
Both are complementary.
Industry, yes, industry is the basic input, and normally what microeconomy and power today, it is practically go hand to hand. If you see, really, the solar is such a prospective field of everybody can think of it. If you get convinced in a village where sunshine is there, if you go to the African village and tell them you can produce your energy, your domestic need, if you small scale industries can do, is survive, and this is the one way. Other way, yes, I have seen there's lot of, it's a small hydropower. This is water is flowing. Some actually topographical advantages there. Just they can generate. If somebody can put some here, they generate their own power. A small scale industry, they can do some leather machine, whatever may be. So this is the very, very relevant subject as on today. If you really uplift the economy, uplift the condition of the poor people in the basically underdeveloping countries, all surroundings to see, this is the only thing that you should promote today. Solar is more easier to do. Hydro, small hydro, okay. After sometimes hydro is free. If you initially some investment is there, then the only input is the water. Just water is flowing down, you can use, and in a small sector you can do. This is the very focus subject today. Even government of India is now promoting both the sector big way. Even they renewable energy earlier, there is some limitation. You can go up to 25 megawatt, then you will go all sorts of subsidy or something like that. Now they made in a such a way that hydro and solar, they have focused because there is no choice. But input, here input sun, basic input, for their input is water.
Okay.
It does not cost at all.
Yeah.
So if you really want to
Basic 5 elements.
economy, which is the I think
of.
you way on to focus. This is a two sector, very fast focus, and your opportunity is
Vast.
huge, vast. Nothing has been done.
Sky is the
Practically,
limit.
sky is the limit.
Okay.
We are thinking now, and today India also thinking very big way how to promote. Everybody focused on solar because natural resources you have to utilize, and beneficiary will go. You go to any place, any remote place, even if there is no connectivity, you can put a solar there and use it. Similarly, hydro sector we can do that part. So this is the as today government also naturally they are focusing the things in a way, and there is no choice. If you industry, economy, and livelihood of the human being is depending on this sector, how to develop, how to promote, and moreover, I feel that people should make conscious. Today, lot of people knows. No, I have worked 5 years in Africa, Ethiopia, most Ethiopia. It's very, very. If you go to the rural area, people practically starve. They don't know, but lot of resources. You see, equator is going on through this Addis Ababa city. Sun rises huge. Nobody is promoted. This is a very, very. I personally feel that it has lot of potential, and not
Untapped
only
potential. Untapped potential.
Particularly, I know to the developed countries, they know they are doing. Today, if you go USA, Germany, or so many countries, China, but we have to promote ourselves. All African countries is totally untapped. Indo-China region, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. Indonesia, Malaysia, like this. In Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Mozambique, so many countries. I have visited most all of the countries like this. In Middle East, there is Iraq, Iran. It's a lot of potential is there. If you
We need to tap them properly. So we would come.
And so this is the opportunity. When Suncraft is explaining, I have seen to working recently. They are doing extremely good job. And if they really, they can, the way they are now approaching, and the basic way, practically they are promoting in such a way that every others should be encouraged. The model they are now putting, practically focusing, if they can also do some promotional work, the people will say that this is the only way to develop our natural resource, sun, and it is, cost-wise much lesser. It's proved, but you see, our main problem is that people not yet develop their confidence on this subject. That's one of the handicap today. But scientific or technically, it is proved. Nobody will question that part. But people also
they need to develop their confidence and they need to come forward.
Whether it will be done or not, they have to give some. They will give some space. The rooftop solar is a big popular device. They have to give the only roof, rest the sun cap. They can do the 6 projects implemented, and the benefit comes to them. Their cost of electricity coming down to nearly 40%. Yeah. Am I correct? They can
yes,
correct me.
Yes, sir.
My awareness, this type of program is certainly our people, and it should reach to the rural people bigger way, so that they come forward to have this project, implement project, and government subsidies they are not there, they different issue altogether. When we are down on the platform to discuss this issue, but we change it day by day, because when things are coming and people are implementing that, this cost also coming down. So government has to think, naturally they are motivating the all concerned to implement the renewable energy. This is the basic input today. So I feel there is a huge potential. We should proceed and we should focus this subject, promote the reach to the people. They should know pros and cons of this.
So with this relevant topic, we will come back after a break, after a short break. You stay tuned.